I know what you are thinking. Too many legs, moves too fast, appears out of nowhere on your bathroom wall at 2 in the morning, and disappears before you can process what you just saw. And your first instinct, completely understandable, is to grab the nearest shoe and end the encounter as quickly as possible. But before you do that, I need you to stop for 1 second because the creature you are about to kill is the best free exterminator your house has ever had. And the moment you eliminate it, everything it was hunting in your walls, the things you actually should be worried about, gets to keep moving around undisturbed. The house centipede, 30 legs, 2 antennae, and a hunting record that most pest control companies would charge you hundreds of dollars a year to replicate. Today, we are going to change the way you see it. Not by asking you to love it, just by showing you what it is actually doing in your home and why the fear you feel every time you see one is the only thing standing between you and the much more useful relationship with this animal. Let's start with the legs, because they are the first thing everyone notices, and they are the first thing most people misunderstand. The house centipede, known scientifically as Scuteragira coloptrata, has 15 pairs of legs, 30 in total. Each pair is longer than the one in front of it, with the final pair on females nearly twice the length of the body itself. When the animal moves, all 30 legs operate in a coordinated wave pattern that looks to most people like something out of a science fiction film. It is unsettling in a way that is almost impossible to explain rationally. The movement triggers something deep and instinctive that most people cannot override simply by knowing better. But those legs are not there to frighten you. They are there to make the centipede one of the fastest and most agile hunters in your home. The house centipede can reach speeds of up to 1.3 feet per second on a flat surface, fast enough to cross an average bathroom in under 2 seconds. It can run across walls and ceilings without slowing down. It can change direction instantly mid-stride in response to the movement of prey. And it hunts using a combination of speed, sensitivity, and a pair of modified front legs called forapules that function as both grabbing claws and venom delivery tools simultaneously. When the house centipede catches prey, it does not sting it from a distance. It wraps its long legs around the target to prevent escape, drives the forapules into the body, and injects a paralyzing venom directly. The prey stops moving almost immediately. The centipede feeds at its leisure. This process happens in your walls, under your baseboards, in the gaps behind your appliances, and inside your closets, in every dark, damp space where pest insects prefer to hide. And it happens every single night while you sleep, without any noise and without any mess. Now, let's talk about what it is actually hunting, because this is the part that changes everything. The house centipede's preferred menu reads like a list of every homeowner's worst fears. Cockroaches, including the egg cases and nymphs that are too small for most traps to catch. Silverfish, the small, fast, scale-covered insects that feed on paper, glue, and the starch in your clothing and books. Spiders, including the ones building webs. Ants, carpet beetles, bed bugs, termites. It eats the insects that destroy your food, your books, your clothing, and your structural materials. It eats the insects that bite you. It eats the insects that are hardest to eliminate with conventional pest control because they live in the exact same dark, narrow spaces the centipede prefers to hunt in. A pest control technician with a spray canister cannot reach the inside of your wall cavity. The house centipede lives there. It knows every crack, every gap, every route that pest insects use to move through your home because it has been mapping those routes for as long as it has been living in your house. And it has been living in your house longer than you probably know. House centipedes are one of the few arthropods that spend their entire life cycle indoors. They do not come in from outside and eventually leave. They are born inside, develop inside, hunt inside, and die inside. The centipede on your bathroom wall tonight may have hatched from an egg laid in a gap behind your baseboard months ago. Its mother may have been in your home for years. This is not an infestation. This is a resident. One that has been quietly maintaining your home's pest balance the entire time. Here is the part of this story that most people never hear, and the one that matters most for your peace of mind. The house centipede's venom is real. It is venomous. It has to be to paralyze the cockroaches and spiders it hunts. But the phorapules that deliver that venom are designed for small arthropods, not for human skin. They are not strong enough to pierce human skin under normal circumstances. On the rare occasions where contact does occur, usually when someone accidentally traps one against their body, the result is a mild, localized reaction, roughly comparable to a bee sting that fades within a few hours. There are no documented cases of serious medical complications from house centipede contact in otherwise healthy adults. It has no interest in biting you. You are not its prey. You are simply a large, warm obstacle that it would prefer to avoid, which is why it runs the moment it senses your presence. The speed that frightens people is not aggression. It is flight. Every time a house centipede moves quickly across your wall, it is running away from you, not toward you. Now, here is the piece of information that I want you to hold on to because it is the most practically useful thing in this entire video. If you are seeing house centipedes regularly in multiple areas of your home, the centipede is not your problem. The centipede is telling you that you have a problem. House centipedes do not stay in spaces where there is nothing to eat. They are in your home because your home has enough pest insect activity to sustain them. More centipedes means more prey. More prey means a pest population that has established itself somewhere in your walls, your basement, or your crawl space, possibly without any visible sign at the surface level. The centipede is the indicator. The cockroach behind your baseboard, the silverfish colony in your attic insulation, the ant trail under your kitchen floor. Those are the sources. Eliminating the centipede without addressing the underlying pest activity accomplishes nothing. The prey remains, and without the centipede hunting it, it grows undisturbed. This is why pest control professionals who understand the ecology of indoor spaces do not recommend treating for house centipedes directly. They recommend addressing moisture, sealing entry points, and eliminating the conditions that attract the insects the centipede feeds on. Remove the food source, and the centipede, having no reason to stay, will reduce in number on its own. So, what do you actually do? If a single centipede appears occasionally, the most useful response is to let it be. It is doing useful work in spaces you cannot access, hunting things you would rather not have in your home. The discomfort of seeing it is real, but the service it is providing is also real. If centipedes are appearing frequently in multiple rooms, treat it as the diagnostic signal it is. Check for moisture. Centipedes require damp environments to survive, and high humidity in a basement, bathroom, or crawl space is both what sustains them and what sustains their prey. Fix leaking pipes, improve ventilation, reduce clutter in dark storage areas where insects and centipedes both prefer to shelter. Seal gaps around baseboards, pipes, and foundation penetrations to reduce the overall pestic moving through your home. These steps address the underlying conditions rather than the symptom. The centipede population will follow the prey population. When the prey declines, so does the centipede. And if you find one and simply cannot leave it where it is, a glass and a piece of cardstock will relocate it outside without harming it and without requiring you to get any closer than you are comfortable with. The house centipede is not an invader. It is not a danger. It is not a sign that something is wrong with your home's cleanliness or your housekeeping. It is a predator that evolved specifically to live in human structures, hunting the insects that human structures attract in the spaces that are hardest for humans to access and monitor. It is, by any practical measure, on your side. The next time one appears on your wall, Take 1 second before you reach for anything. 30 legs, 2 antennae, and a hunting record that has been protecting your home quietly in the dark for longer than you knew it was there. That is not something to kill. That is something to appreciate. Even if appreciation, in this particular case, looks a lot like walking to a different room and letting it get back to work. Have you ever found a house centipede in your home and had no idea what it was doing there? Or discovered that you had more of them than you realized? Tell me about it in the comments. I read every single one. And if today was the day the most alarming thing on your bathroom wall became the most useful, then something just shifted in the way you see your home. That shift is exactly what this community is built on. I'll see you in the next one.